Well, hello there. Happy Monday. We are almost at October, but this is the last Monday of September. Welcome. This is Nicole with Cowgirls and Spurs. And today I'm going to be playing with a fun pile of sticks. So come and join me to see what I'm going to make. And yes, I'm wearing white after Labor Day. Just kidding. All right. How is everybody doing? I am outside. It's getting scorching hot, and so I thought I would do this fun project with you before it gets too hot outside, before the animals start going crazy. So, this is a project I actually had for you like 3 weeks ago, but when I ended up cutting all the wood, and I'll explain all that, it took 3 weeks to dry out enough for me to be able to bring this project to you. So again, I have something else up my sleeve in my bag of tricks. Okay, so let me get started here because it's going to be kind of messy, and I'm going to put an apron on today. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be proud of me for covering up my outfit because I ruined so many of my clothes. So I'm putting on my apron. How is everybody today on this happy Monday? We've got more fires. We've got all kinds of stuff happening in California. I'm telling you, California's taking a beating, you guys. It's taking a beating. Okay, so I posted, if you saw it before. Hello, everybody. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Let me turn my camera a little bit. Okay, so we're going to be doing a messy part first, and then I'm going to start doing some assembly. Now, I posted the picture of my sticks, and I separated them in the pattern that I'm going to assemble today. So I just want you to know I'm using Manzanita, and Manzanita I did not realize was such a hard wood. So I'm going to encourage you, if you have Manzanita, to dry it out. If you do not have Manzanita and you have dry sticks, that would probably be easier and better and less challenging. We may get a turkey visitor. Every live I do out here, you guys, my turkeys love me so much, which is awesome, but they always come up here and cause trouble. So we may get a visitor. Okay, so what I'm using is sticks. I have all these sticks that I have already cut, and I'm going to pre-drill. I've already pre-drilled most of it, but I'm going to show you how I drill today, and then I'm going to show you how I antique part of it. So we're going to be using this fabulous plastic skull head from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to treat that in just a second. I'm using my 12-volt DeWalt hand drill, and I have all my screw bits and my drill bits. So we're going to be using that as well. And then I have my favorite Rust-Oleum paint. I love this. It's rusty metal primer. I know everything's backwards, you guys, because my camera doesn't flip. Ever since I did the update, the flip mechanism to be able to read everything properly doesn't work anymore. So until I switch over to an iPhone, which I don't know will ever happen, I'm working with what I got. So anyway, this is rusty primer, but it says rusty metal primer. This stuff is amazing. Okay, we're going to be using that today. And then one of my favorite places to go is the hardware store. Lowe's, Home Depot. Home Depot is my favorite, but we don't have a Home Depot up here. We have Lowe's. And so I've made Lowe's work because that's all I have besides Ace Hardware and all that kind of stuff. But this wire I found in the picture frame aisle. I was surprised it was in the picture frame aisle, but I was looking for a different wire, and it's a roll of wire that looks like this. It's kind of a copper color, and it's a real flexible wire. Let me see if I can get my glasses on and tell you what this is, because, you know, I think it was under $10, and I'm going to be using this a lot. So it's called Blue Hawk 10-pound multi-purpose wire, and it was in the framing aisle. Okay, so we're going to be using that today. And then I also have my painter's tape because we're going to be marking off my skull. I have some black pipe cleaner, and I have some beautiful burlap chevron ribbon that we're going to be using. And then I have a bunch of sticks, and I'll describe the sticks as we get going, okay? How's everybody doing? Let me see. Oh, hi, Judy and Barbara and Cynthia and Ellen. Hello. And Terry. Hello, hello from Florida. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to pre-drill. So I have my attachment here, and you guys, I'm not very good at this. I'm learning how to be better at this. So let's learn together. So I picked out a drill bit that was big enough for my wire to fit through. And I'm going to put it on my attachment. My dogs might start barking because they hate when I drill. Now, if you're not confident with a drill, I encourage you to have somebody else do this for you. It was very intimidating for me, and I use my drill all the time. But because I just got my nails did and I'm having to hold this hardwood, I gotta say I was a little intimidated. So if you can pawn this off on somebody else, then pawn it off on somebody else. So I pre-drilled everything. And I'm just gonna go slow, hoping I don't split my wood. Just go really, really slow. The other thing that I realized with this hardwood is that it started to smoke a little bit, which caught me off guard. I didn't realize I was going to be starting a little bit of a smoking session. So that's all I did, was just pre-drill my piece of wood. Okay, and I have a couple that I think I missed on the drill. So here's another one of my sticks. Now what I did, so I don't drill through my table, is I have this scrap wood from a project that I did in the Cowgirl workshop. And so I just brought the wood over so I could drill into the wood, okay? So let me see, did I already pre-drill this one? I did not. Now Manzanita is a little slippery, so you got to be really, really careful. And in this case, I just go very slow until I get it started, and then I increase the speed as I'm applying a little bit of pressure to break through the other side. Now I don't pull my drill bit right back out, I reverse it out. So I'm going to switch on the side here to reverse it out as I allow it to pull up a little bit, just like that. And you've got a nice little hole. I have one more to do that I missed, and then we're going to play. Let me see where I want this one. I think right here. Oh, that breeze feels so good. Okay. So I did that on all my sticks in the center. And as I'm assembling this, I will tell you what I did. The lengths are not necessarily as important as how you drill it, because you can vary your lengths depending on if you want to do this project. When I post the finished, I will post my measurements. I'm also going to be starting to list all my supplies on my blog, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get all this stuff out of the way, because I am going to paint my skeleton. So this is a Dollar Tree skeleton. He's kind of eerie looking, but we're going to make him rustic and antiqued. So I'm going to take my painter's tape, and I'm going to kind of come in his eyes a little bit and just put some tape in his eyes to cover up the black. I'm not going perfect with it because I'll touch it up with paint if I have to, but I really just want to have some of the black pop through when I paint him. I'm going to do the same thing on his nose, just like this. I'm just going to cover up some of the black. Okay. And then I'm also going to cover up his mouth. Just about like that. And just kind of smash it in a little bit. Just like that. Okay, now I want to show you my paint. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Now the breeze starts blowing, and I'm just going to spray him with my rust spray all the way around, over the tape. Let me move my board a little bit. He's going to dry really fast, and then I'll show you how rusticy he gets with this paint. When it dries, it kind of dries in a uneven and, well, it looks like rust, you guys. I can't even explain what that would look like in any other way other than he's very rusty. Let me get this out of the way so I can show you. If you can see his texture, can you kind of see that a little bit? It's very flat and rough, like sandpaper. Okay, let me set him aside so he can dry. And I'm going to put a couple weighted, he's on the railing of my deck. All right, let's assemble. So I'm gonna cut out my wire. I know this is gonna be awkward, but just bear with me. You know, you guys, I always get crazy at the end and it ends up turning out to be fantastic. So for right now, I am not going to cut my wire, and I'll show you why. Because I'm gonna start assembling the body of, if you haven't figured out yet, we're making a skeleton out of twigs. So I am going to start threading all of my pieces of wood on my wire like a puzzle. So here's his hips. And I'm just going to start assembling it. You guys, this is going to be so dang cute when I am done. Okay, now he's got his, right like that. And then I'm gonna start, wait, let me see here how I want to do this. Okay, so I'm doing 2. Did I go all the way through? Yes, I did. I went all the way through. Not too bad. Okay, so can you start to see how I'm assembling this? Let me move out of the way, because sometimes it's better when I don't do it like that. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'm starting his rib cage, which is random sticks that are shorter than his hips. And then I've got the fillers for his spine, another rib, can you hear the dog barking down there? It's because the turkeys are harassing him. All right, here we go. Can you start to see? We got a rib cage going. Let's get this guy in here. There we go. Okay, so the rib cage is about 10 inches, and all these little pieces here, they're about 10 inches. I would say 8 to 10 inches. And then the hip bone down here is about 12 to 13 inches. You want it to be a little bit wider on the hips than you have for the rib cage. And I have 4 of the same sticks for the rib cage. Oops, I didn't put the filler in. See, I lost track. It's like putting together a puzzle. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 ribs like that. Okay, so there's his rib cage. And then I want 3 more fillers. So we're doing his neck, or I'm sorry, his sternum, so to speak, coming up to his shoulder blades. And so now I have a much bigger stick that is about the same length as my hip bones, a little bit wider because shoulders are wider, and very much more substantial. Okay, can you see that? This is where we're going with this one real quick. Okay, and then I have his neck, just like that. Okay, I'm not going to tie him off yet, because now, see how dry we are. Look at how rustic he looks. I'm going to take the tape off in a minute, but I'm going to thread the skull through. And I already pre-drilled his head. Now the hardest part is trying to find the hole that I drilled. So it may take, oh, I did it! I thought it was going to take me a long time. I totally did it. Oh my goodness, what luck is that? Okay, here we go so far. Can you see that so far? All right, now I'm going to tie, okay, I'm taking my pliers and I'm going to make a little bit of a loop, just like that. Okay, just like that. He's got a little curly Q, just like that. And now, let me lay him flat. Move everything up so it's nice and solid. And now I'm going to cut my wire down here. I'm going to give myself probably about, I don't know, 3 inches or so, maybe 4 inches. And I'm going to cut my wire just like that. Okay, let me see if you can see it on my arm. And I'm going to do the same curling on the end here, except I'm just going to continue to spin it until he's nice and tight. Just like that, because I don't want him moving. Can you see that? All right. There's his body. Okay, you've got his rib cage. Let's take off his tape so he's not quiet. You can see his face. This is going to be a primitive version of what a skeleton. Okay, just like that. Now let me set him aside. Not aside, but we're going to put him down. Okay, can you kind of see him okay? Because look at, we're going to start giving him some arms and some legs. Now I pre-drilled, no I didn't. I didn't pre-drill his arms. Let's pre-drill his arms. I've got my block. So on his shoulder blades right here, we're going to do a hole and a hole on his shoulder blades. So let me get my drill bits back out. You know, there was a lot of drilling and I missed a couple. All right, so we're just going to make a nice little hole on the shoulder going straight through the top. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side too. Let me make sure I didn't do it on his hips either. Man, I dropped the ball. All right, let me do this one. This one's a little awkward. Let's see if I can do it without splitting it, because that would really be awful at this stage of the game. Voila! All right, let's put some arms together. All right, let's see how y'all are doing. Hello, everybody! Lena's here and Lisa's here. Louise, Sherry. Hey, Tammy. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's pull out our wire again. I'm actually going to cut a smaller piece instead of trying to manhandle that big old spindle of wire. I'm going to cut a more manageable piece. Oh, these wire cutters are not very good. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right, here's a more manageable piece. All right, so now what we're going to do is thread the shoulders. Let's see where my hole is. Now, every time I stick the wire through, make sure your wire's straight so it'll go through your hole. Every part of me doing the wire, I'm going to do that curly Q on the end. So right here on the back of the shoulder, I'm just going to wrap my wire into a little bit of a curly Q so that I can secure it and it won't move. Well, it won't come undone rather. So just like that. Let me see. So just like that. I just made a little curly Q. Smash it down a little bit. And I'm going to need probably about that much. And I'm saying 4 inches. Okay? Now I have the top part of his arm. Here's another stick. And I drew a hole here. And I drew a hole here. And so I'm going to thread him in so that he stays nice and like that. And there's movement. You see there's a little gap here? Let me see, get my hands out of the way. He's kind of awkward. But there's a little bit of a gap here so there's movement and the arm can swing. And once I get him in position, I'm going to roll this up. And just continue to roll it until I have him secured. We got to name him. Okay, so there's the start of the arm. You see that? Okay. I'm going to need to spray him again because the rust is coming off a little bit because I haven't sealed it, but I wanted you to get an idea of how he's going to look. Now I have a little bit of his elbow. So this one, I'm going to say this one is about 18 inches for the top part of the arm. And now I'm coming in with the lower part of the arm. So it's a little bit lower. And so I pre-drilled on the top and on the bottom, and I'm going to repeat the process with the wire. So I'll come through on this one right here on the bottom part of the arm, and I'm going to curly cue it off so that it stays put. And then I'm going to cut another about a 4, probably do a little bit less, maybe like a 3.5 inch. Okay, and let it dangle and add your elbow. So I chose one that had a little bit of an elbow to it. Can you kind of see that? I tried to choose sticks that had a little bit of character to them so that while I was doing this, it would create more personality because the parts would be kind of more of like the little bones. Okay. And I want them to flow. See that? I want them to flow. Now, this is my favorite part. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. I think they're so dang cute. All right, I'm going to repeat the process. Who knew I could fall in love with a pile of sticks as much as this? I think he's just darling. Okay, just keep repeating all the assembly. Here we go. So we here in California, I'm not sure how it is all over the rest of the part of the country because, you know, I can barely keep up with my own state's crazy affairs. We might be shutting down again. We don't know. We might be shutting down again. It looks like our numbers are rising and I don't even know. So if that's the case, it'll be interesting. But the point I'm trying to make is we were really looking forward to Halloween. My daughter wants to be Hermione from Harry Potter. And she's been really working hard to get her costume ready, to be able to do some fun trick-or-treating. Because last year, we finally found an awesome place to go trick-or-treating on the mountain. It's really hard here because everybody lives acreages apart. I mean, we have 3 acres, our neighbors have 10 acres, or 5 acres rather. And then after that is 5 acres. And so it's so hard to go trick-or-treating here when everybody lives, you know, 5, 10 acres apart. All right, so there's his hand, just like that. Okay, let's work on the other shoulder. And then we'll put together some legs. All right, so we are thinking about doing, and you know what? I want to share this because I think it's a really cool idea. We are thinking about doing a rotating dinner. So have you ever been to one of those where everybody takes a turn and hosts like the soup, the salad, and then, you know, everybody rotates to the next one? I can't remember what it's called, but I want to say a rotating dinner. Well, we thought about doing that with trick-or-treating. So one house would have like bobbing for apples and fun snacks, and then the next place would have you know, more of a meal with a different fun activity, so that our kids can enjoy the holiday season without having this pandemic, you know, and we all live outside, so we could, you know, do outdoor stuff to keep everybody safe. You know what I mean? I don't know, these kids, I swear their lives are so, I just, fear is from the enemy. And I don't want to create any more fear in my daughter of not wanting to go in public or be around her friends. And so, I don't know. I know that a lot of people would feel differently, but we are a very small community up here, and my daughter's already back in school. So anyway, it's a big dilemma with a parent, trying to keep your kids safe, but also keep them, they're mentally safe. And yeah, just pray for California, you guys. We're having a hard time out here. All right, so now I've got 2 upper arms and I have another elbow to work on. Let's see here. Where did he go? Here we go. Here's my other stick. So I ran out of manzanita, you guys, so I started grabbing other sticks on the property. Sticks that would be cute. You can use anything. Birch would be beautiful. If you have birch in your house, you know, you wouldn't need to chop down a tree. You would just need to grab some sticks that have some depth to them so that they can create this adorable, whimsical, but rustic and primitive, I mean, isn't that a contradiction, little guy. And he's going to be just super sweet when we're done. All right, here we go. So part of the whimsy is having your wire be nice and kind of corkscrewed and cute. So that's part of the whimsy of him, is so that he can kind of flop around and do some flopping. You know what I mean? Okay, here's another hand. Come on now, it's darling. So if you don't do Halloween, that's fine. I only do it because my daughter is so into it. And while she's young, you know, I'm trying to kind of get into what she likes. And so we're doing fun Halloween stuff. She really loves it. I'm trying to get her. So last year she started doing what's it called? It's I'm drawing a blank because I'm trying to work on these wires. Cosmetic makeup, but it's Halloween costume makeup. And so I'm trying to get her to show you guys how she does it. Last year she created these fun wounds, like, you know, like injuries and whatnot with her makeup. And she's only 13 years old. It was impressive. Super, super impressive. Okay, there's our arms. There's our arms so far. Are you with me? Okay, let's get some legs on him and then we'll get him ready for the ball. Shall we? Okay, so now I'm going to be working on his hips. And of course, I forgot to do the drill bit on the hips. So let me get that going real quick. I thought I had everything so prepped, but you get to see my mad drill skills. All right, so I have a couple announcements while I'm drilling. I have a online holiday Christmas sale happening on the 21st of November at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on All Things Christmas website. So I'll send some posts up to give you guys a heads up so you can get some Christmas shopping done. I'm going to have a lot of really fun gift options for the holidays. And Melanie Ferguson is hosting this beautiful Facebook group called All Things Christmas, and it is going to be fantastic. And she's doing it right before the Craftathon, which is that same weekend. So mark your calendars because we're going to get major crafting on, and Christmas is so much fun. I love it. Are you guys with me? How you doing? I really love this idea. You guys, I want this to be an inspiration. It's so much fun to use natural products and make something rustic and primitive. I love to do rustic and primitive, as you all know. And so he's just going to be a delight. Oops, I got my ring stuck. Okay, we're working on the upper thigh bones. I'm not going to go into to bone terminology, but we're just going to say the upper part of the thigh. Okay, same process. I have a long bone, and then I have a sort of long bone, and then I have his feet. Look how cute those are. I had to get out of the way because I have a lot going on my pattern. And it's pretty intensive on the project. The first step is to find your sticks. The second step is to let them dry out if they need to dry out and cut them to size. And so you just have to kind of gauge how big of a skeleton you want to have. I wanted mine hanging from my front porch area, and so I wanted him to be fairly large. Okay, so I made him bigger, but you don't have to make yours this big. You can make it really small, just depending on your skull head. I would recommend the plastic skull head because to paint him, it's to scale of a large one, and also it's lightweight. You don't want anything too heavy on his head because it's going to be hanging from a tree and the twigs aren't going to be that heavy. You don't want him to be topside heavy, you know, where he's flopping over. And so that's why I chose to go with the plastic head from the Dollar Tree. And it's $1. I mean, that's another bonus right there. It's $1. All right, we're going to get his feet on. He's going to be so cute. All right. This one's kind of acting a little fussy. Got to be strong. Again, if this is too much, have somebody else do it for you. Okay. Woo! And I'm going to put his little, where does foot go? There it is. All right, let me get the foot on and then I'll show you his leg. And I'm going to need to probably stand back for it because I have a feeling he's going to be taller than I am. Okay, can you see him? Let me get out of the way. Can you start to see him a little bit? Turn around, buddy. There you go. All right, and then we have one more leg to do. Gosh darn it, he's turning out cute. Oh, he's adorable. Okay, our last leg, and then he's gonna be alive. Not really, but. Oh my goodness, hello. The femur, yes, thank you. I know my bones, I just didn't wanna make it about the bones. All right, here we go. Gosh darn it. It's hot. Come on, wire, work with me. Am I making faces? I feel like I'm making faces because I'm concentrating. Look at how long my hair's getting, you guys. Can you believe it? Blew me away this morning when I was styling it. I'm like, wow, I actually have something to style now. It's only taken like 1.5 years for it to grow out. All right, here we go. What should we name him? We got to give him a name. Start throwing out some options because I think he deserves a name. Not you, Bandit. I didn't ask you for your input, buddy. All right. Here we go. I might have to cut some more wire. I have a song from K-Love in my head right now, and it is just playing over and over again in my head. Okay. We're getting there. It's almost done. I got 2 more things to put on, and we're good. Bandit, shush, buddy. All right, just his foot, and we are set. Let me cut another little chunk of wire, and he is good. Oh, that one clipped nicely. So I did not do this ahead of time, you know, as per normal. You guys know, I always just do it. I wing it live for you guys because, you know, oftentimes I just don't have all the supplies to be doing multiples and do a prototype and all that kind of stuff. I do a lot of planning though, rest assured. I just don't always get a prototype done first. So sometimes I worry it may not work out. Like my other one, if you didn't see my Beware centerpiece with the skeleton, I didn't do that one ahead of time either, and it was so hot in my house that the darn thing, the glue wouldn't set. But you know what, it ended up turning out adorable anyway. Okay, all right, let me get a little wire for hanging him because I don't want to keep grabbing onto his little top knot on his head. So all I'm gonna do for his cute little skull right here is just loop another wire for me to hang it, and I'm just going to zip tie it right here. Just like that. I'm just going to act like it's a zip tie. and kind of wrap it around on itself. And then I'll curly Q it as well. So it has that same curly Q, and smash it a little bit so that I don't cut myself. And then I'm gonna turn it under. All right, see how I kind of did that right there? So it was looking on my face, so you can see that. And I just kind of made a little cute little curly Q on the top of his head so that I can hang him. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit and I'm gonna move out of the way so you can kind of see him. Okay, look how big he is. He's as tall as I am, which is not very tall, but he is as tall as I am. All right. So here's his finale. Let's see, can you sit for me? What do you think? Can you kind of sit for me right here so we can all see you? Now, I'll touch all this. Well, no, I don't know. I kind of like it all rustic and haphazard. I kind of like it like that. All right. So I have this stretch of burlap with my pipe cleaners. And I have a longer pipe cleaner, and then I have 3 short pipe cleaners. So I'm going to take my burlap. This is probably, I'm going to say 2.5 feet, maybe 2.5 feet, not quite a yard. And I'm going to overlap the 2 ends like this, and then I'm going to bring it flat like this. And I'm going to kind of gather it right here, because he's a sophisticated kind of guy. And I'm going to take my zip tie, not my zip ties, my pipe cleaners, and I'm going to zip tie it together like this, because I just want a little bit of black on the front, but not a ton. And then I'm just going to flatten it out, because we're going to make him a bow tie, just like this. And now I'm going to take my other pipe cleaner just around and zip tie it in the back, and then I'm going to attach it right underneath my wire, tight, and twist it in the back like this. And I'm just going to keep twisting it until I'm done twisting, and I'm going to wrap it on itself so that he's got an adorable little bow tie. I'm not using any glue, you guys. The reason I'm not using any glue is because he's going to be outside. We get huge temperatures here, really hot temperatures. The last thing I want is for my glue to melt. So I'm trying to do everything for him so that he doesn't have anything that falls apart. And there he is with his little bow tie. Let's bring your bow tie up a little bit, buddy, so we're not taking our shoulder blades out. Just like that. He's got a little bow tie. Could have made him probably a little shorter, but that's okay. He's got sass and attitude. And there's my friend. Did we think of a name? Did anybody come up with a name? Let me see. Woody! Wilbur! I love it! Willie! Mr. Bones! Scully! Mr. Woody Wood Bone Man! Oh, Tammy, I like that one. It kind of combines everybody's. Mr. Sticks, Rusty and Sticks, you guys are awesome. How fun was this? Let me see, let me move my camera a little bit in the shade so I can really show you him. No, that didn't work. That's not shade. Come on, Mr. Sun. All right, let me just kind of show you him. Okay, so I kind of like that he's all kind of getting a crackly and stuff, and I will spray him with some sealing spray so he stays that way. Can you see his little hands? Look at his little hands. Come on, talk about some attitude. Look at him. He's a boss. I love it. I am so excited. It came out so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yay! Mr. Woody Wood Sticks. Is that what it was? Mr. Woody Wood Sticks? I love it. Okay. We did it. We did it, and it came out cute, and I love it. I'm so excited. I'm sweating like crazy because it's hotter than the dickens out here. Okay, so that's all I've got. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you all real soon. And as always, choose to be joyful, because even in a pile of sticks, there is joy to be had. See you all real soon. Bye, you guys.